Hello and welcome to the program. This week, it's all just a little bit of history repeating, as the song says. Now, anyone who's been paying attention knows that New York has a lot of problems at the moment. The latest one, of course, is that it is absolutely overrun by illegal migrants who have been sent north from the southern border by the Biden administration. Now, it's gotten so bad that local residents, like these in Staten Island, have taken to the streets to protest their neighborhoods being made a dumping ground for the Biden administration's failed border policies. Have a look.
Get them out! 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 Get them out!
Yet, what is the city government most worried about these days? Well, not living humans who have to deal with the end product of Democrat incompetence, but rather statues. Yeah, that's right, statues. What am I talking about here? Well, let's find out as we go, busting the narrative. Right, so, as discussed, New York is being run into the ground. Now, sadly, I could spend the next 20 minutes cataloging how this is working, but instead, we've got to talk about statues. That's right, because that's what the New York City government is worried about. Here's what the New York Post had to say on this issue. New York's City Council, which just passed a budget that's already been deemed a flop, is now spending some of its time advancing a plan that could kill off monuments honoring figures such as George Washington. The Democrat-led council's Cultural Affairs Committee is set to hold a public hearing on Tuesday to propose to yank artworks from city property dedicated to historical figures such as George Washington, Peter Stuyvesant, and Christopher Columbus because of their controversial pasts. Gee, I don't know, this all sounds familiar. I mean, wonder who predicted this?
Well, no, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, excuse me, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history.
And, of course, how the media laughed at the time. The Washington Post. No, Mr. President, Washington and Jefferson are not the same as Confederate generals. Vox.com. The huge problem comparing Robert E. Lee to George Washington. NBC News. Statues of Washington and Jefferson aren't next. And, of course, there was the New York Times. Historians questioned Trump's comments on Confederate monuments. Comedian John Oliver also mocked Trump at the time.
OK, well, I'll tell you where it stops. Somewhere. Anytime someone asks, where does it stop, the answer is always somewhere. You might let your kid have Twizzlers, but not inject black tar heroin. You don't just go, well, after the Twizzlers, where does it stop?
Well, who's laughing now? Anyway, thanks for watching, and to support this channel, please like, share, and subscribe below. And I'll see you next week for more Busting the Narrative. Bye-bye.